Hello, Michael228p here. Today I'm going to show you a few tips to make your natural maps look better. Have you ever heard of people saying that your map is so ugly that you need to put more uh, wedges, more props like trees, rocks, blocks, whatever, and you don't know how to add them really? Or you just think that your map is so ugly? So today I'm going to show you just 5 tips to make your outside or outdoors maps look more beautiful. So first, what you want to deal with is the shape of the level. Like, you didn't see a beautiful scenery, that the terrain is like a square, something like that. There must be some shapes and depths in the scenery, like there is a cave in the middle, or I mean, it's like there's a concave polygon and there's a convex thing. Uh, I don't know how to explain that, but you can try to add more shapes to the terrain, like what I did here. I want to make the button is actually inside the wall instead of just putting it outside of the wall. Okay, let me try to fast forward this. You can also see me adding details to the very small parts of the terrain, like inside the cave. You have more parts, so it's just not feeling blocky. And also you can also change the size of the platforms of the terrain, so it just doesn't look like it is repeated, and it just gives the terrain more variety. And look, it's already a bit better. Next, you can try to add elevation to the ground. You really do not see like a scenery that the the ground or the lawn is completely straight. You can also see some little bit of elevation to it. And also, I think if you add some more elevation, like the different heights for the ground, you can add a little bit more depth into the map. You can use this trick to make this map more beautiful, and I think it is a good practice to make different heights for the ground and not just stay in the same height. Besides the height, you can also try to rotate the object. I mean, not rotate the object, I mean rotate the terrain. Like here, you can see the platform is rotated a bit, and here also you can rotate the grass with the button, and with the rocks you can create something like this. It's something really simple, and I just want to show you this because not every terrain has a height. I mean, not every terrain has a flat ground, but with a little bit of angle here, you can see that. Also, don't forget to extend the size so there won't be any flaws in the map. Welcome to the main part of this video. Wedges. People ask you to add as many wedges as possible in your map, and you might don't know what even a wedge is. A wedge is basically a triangle prism, a right angle triangle prism, and what it does is creates special angles, so it does not always look like it is 45 degrees or 90 degrees. The reason I prefer wedges over rotating parts is because it's more easy to control the angle, or you can say the destination of the slope. I forgot what is that called. It's more easier to control it, and if it will be more tight if you use wedges. Trust me, use wedges instead of the rotating parts, or even please use wedges. Don't not use it, okay? You must use it to make your terrain look more beautiful. So here is a time lapse of me doing this, because it might take a really long time. Don't try to be lazy when putting down the wedges, because if a place, if a map, a part, there are so many wedges, but another part of the map there is no wedges, no detail at all. And I think that would be worse than a map that has no detail at all, because it shows that you do not have the motivation to finish rest of the parts of the map, and you might receive bad reviews. I don't know, but I think you should be consistent with the design of the map. Like if you use wedges everywhere in the first room, just do it like this in the rest of the map. Don't be like being lazy and not putting any wedges, and that is a very bad thing. Also, you can try to not make the grass layer to be the same shape as the stone the stone layer, because it's like there is something, the grass is like it's not stick to the stone at all, and it looks more beautiful. It looks more beautiful. The fourth tip is add some props to the map. Because you haven't seen a place that there is only grass, really that is so plain, and that is so not beautiful. It's so ugly. So you might want to add some props, like trees, dead logs, or even some arcs above the valley. Because you can see me building the arc here, and try to use some plugins such as gap fill and what's that called? There's another plugin. I forgot the name. Yeah, but one of them is called gap fill. You can see me using that later. And that is what it does, is basically fill in the two gaps. Fill in the gap between two parts. And that is very useful for building terrain, because you might take some time to actually do what you want with just cylinder, parts, sphere, wedges. Sometimes it's really hard to do with your bare hands. So with the help of the plugin, you can do these type of weird shapes very easily. However, using that plugin requires trial and error, because it sometimes works not as intended, and there may be some weird results, and you have to redo it over and over again in order to get a satisfied result. By the way, if you resize a model, it will resize in ratio, so you don't have to worry about the shape being very broken. So you can do something like this. The middle of the lock is brighter and is more outward than the edge of the lock. I hope you know what I mean. Also, change the colors of the terrain is also a good tip to make your map look better. Because if you add more if you add more colors to the map, it just looks more beautiful. However, just choose a similar colors to the primary colors because you don't want your theme to go too off. Just like choose something similar to green or something similar to gray. Also, sorry, I used a free model for the trees, so it's actually not good if you put it in your map. So I do not suggest you to put free models into the game, into the map. I mean, try to make your own trees, but if you can't make it, don't add trees then. But trees is really beautiful. I can't even build trees, sorry, but so I have to use free models. But I think if you can create your own trees, it would be the best. Also, it is a good idea to add some tall grass and paths because some people might walk through this place. If the grass is stabbed, they may die. Yes, the grass may die and they may turn into brown, and that's how paths formed. And look, it's very beautiful. The last tip of all is try to mess with the lighting setting. If you go to the Explorer, go to Lighting here, you can see the Properties folder. There are a lot of things to set, to adjust. Since FE2 uses compatibility, I will use compatibility to demonstrate this. Make sure to set the brightness to 0 as well. It's important, it's very important, yes, very important. Now you can set the ambience of the map, like here, I'm setting it to green or a bit yellow. Try to mess around with these values. You may find something very interesting or very beautiful, I don't know. Like this, I create a pretty dark tone here. You can also try to adjust the color shift, but it doesn't work well here because there is no sunlight and they can't really work very well in dark places. Time of day, just set the time to evening or night or dawn. It makes it more beautiful. You can also set the geographic latitude, which change the position of the sun and moon. You can also try to mess around with the fog, changing it to different color, change the fog end, fog start. You might create a special feel, and people playing your map might feel cold because it just makes it so real. It's very real. Look at this. Very real. And that's how you make your map better. Isn't it look very beautiful? It's really better than before, and it's really nice. Also, don't forget to add surface lights or point lights into the game. Adding some lights randomly, yes, randomly. Even from the grass, you can add a surface light to it. Look at this. You can add a light going from nowhere, and you can see there's a light from the grass, and you can change it to any color. Like here, I set it to dark green, so the light won't be as bright as before. Yes, that's basically how I make outdoor maps more beautiful. Thank you for watching this video. In the future, I will make a video about how to make indoor maps better. So see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.